Velkomin í Hampkastið. With me today is Dr. Lumír Hanuš, who is a pioneer in cannabis research. Could you welcome, first of all, welcome.
Thank you for invitation. It's my
honor.
pleasure
Yeah.
and my honor to be here, really.
It's our honor to have you.
In this wonderful country.
Could you share a bit about your early career and how you first became interested in cannabis research?
I am Czech. I am from Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
What is today Czech Republic.
Okay.
And even as children in the grammar school, we collected medicinal weeds, plants.
Okay.
And we brought it to the school, and they gave it to pharmaceutical companies.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was very popular. So I have back at home many books about medicinal plants.
Okay.
And I was very interested in that. And I studied analytical chemistry at Faculty of Natural Sciences.
Mm-hmm.
And from medical faculty, from Department of Hygiene and Epidemiology, came Professor Zdeněk Krejčí. I didn't know who is he, but I shall tell you directly. And he was trying to find student for 3 months for 0.25 without any chance of extension.
Okay.
So nobody was interested.
Yeah.
So I asked him, what is it? And he said, cannabis sativa. I knew that it's hemp, yes, because hemp still at that time was cultivated in Czechoslovakia.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, I am very interested in that. So I started work at this department, and because it was really interesting, I worked from the morning to the evening, 7 days a week.
Yeah, wow.
And after these 3 months, he extended it.
Okay.
Then instead 0.25 was 0.5, then 0.75, then full-time job.
Okay.
And then 10 years at the end.
Okay.
So this was my start work with cannabis. And who was Professor Krejčí?
Yeah.
This was real pioneer because in 1950, Professor Zdeněk Krejčí discovered that cannabis has is antibiotical principle.
Yeah.
And he wanted to know what is this compound. And they published it in 1955.
Mm-hmm.
And they discovered that it is cannabidiolic acid. They isolated and discovered this cannabidiolic acid. It was first real cannabinoid from cannabis.
Okay.
Never before was only cannabinol, which elucidated in the United States of America. Mm-hmm. But this is artifact which originates from THC.
Yeah.
So they were real pioneers. And he worked with Professor Shantavi. This was head of the Department of Medicinal Chemistry. Mm-hmm. And this Professor Shantavi, by the way, it's unknown in the world. He, in 1963, sent a manuscript, which appeared in 1964, but these were university leaves, acta universitatis. Mm-hmm. And here he elucidated not only structure, but also absolute configuration of cannabidiolic acid, tetrahydrocannabinol, delta-9, delta-8, fully.
Okay.
And at the same year appeared publication of Professor Meshulam, also with THC.
Yeah.
Who was the first?
Yeah.
I'm not judge.
It's often like that in research.
Fact is that from Professor Meshulam, I have manuscript of Professor Shantavi, and from Professor Shantavi, I have manuscript of Professor Meshulam.
Okay.
So they knew one another, and they were exchanging informations. And when in 1963, Professor Meshulam published Structure of CBD. Mm-hmm. So there was note in this publication that was in contact with Professor Shantavi, and he also elucidated structure of CBD.
Okay.
So two scientists in two far places at the same time elucidated structure as CBD as THC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But what's his name? Do you pronounce it?
Professor Meshulam.
Meshulam.
Somebody says Mecholam, but correctly it's Meshulam.
Meshulam, yeah. He is the one who is gets the credit for it. That's.
I tell you something.
Yeah.
I shall talk tomorrow about that at conference.
Okay.
But according to my opinion, this was something small.
Yeah.
In what was genius, Professor Meshulam. First, he was excellent organizer.
Mm-hmm.
He every time chose very good co-workers. And he, in the fact, thanks to Professor Meshulam, we know biogenesis.
Yeah.
Because THC, they found only where is double bond. Structure was known, only was missing double bond, correct place.
Okay.
But he isolated and identified cannabichromen, cannabigerol, cannabigerolic acid. And these were cannabigerolic acid, this is base of all cannabinoids.
Yeah, it's a mother.
So
CBG.
his contribution, that they call him father of cannabis, he deserved it because his contribution was great.
Yeah.
Yes. And I knew, and I work with both these scientists.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate both of them,
of course,
because they were perfect.
Yeah, fantastic. So what led you to the discovery of anandamide, and how did that discovery shape your work, your future work from there?
I was, from the start, when I started at the Department of Hygiene and Epidemiology, so I was like assistant. So I teach student hygiene.
Yeah.
I did research of cannabis, and I prepared cannabis extract for the drugstore of faculty hospital.
Okay.
Because when Professor Meshulam, when Professor Krejci discovered this cannabidiolic acid, so they prepare medicine from that in drugstore. And from 1955 up to 1990, I personally prepared 20 years for drugstore. They use it from 1955 to 1990 in hospital for treatment of patients.
In which country?
In Czechoslovakia.
In Czechoslovakia?
In Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
So up to 1990.
Up to 1990 it was a drug.
Even after 1961 it was illegal.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Up to 1990 it was used for treatment.
Okay.
And because I was with Professor Meshulam in contact 16 years by snail mail, by letters, at that time was only this possibility. And I had his publication, he had my publications. He invited me several times, but in communistic Czechoslovakia it was impossible to come to Israel. You know. Even they suggested me not to correspond with him.
Okay.
But I said, no, this is science.
Of course.
This scientist. So when fall communism in November 1989, so he immediately invited me, and in February and in September 1990, I was already in Jerusalem. This was invitation for 1 year. I said, oh, wonderful, with Professor Meshulam. I shall work on cannabis, cannabinoids. I came and he told me, no, you are not going to work with cannabis. I was shocked.
Yeah.
He said, here I invited, he's already half a year here, specialist for molecular pharmacology, William Anthony Devane, discoverer of CB1 receptors, and you will cooperate with him on isolation and identification of endogenous compound which binds to these cannabinoid receptors.
So they had already discovered the CB1 receptor?
CB1, yes, because CB1 was published in 1988.
Yeah.
1988, This they discovered at Professor in Howlett Laboratory in St. Louis University.
Yeah.
And so he was specialist, and he developed the bioassay just to check compounds, because he was able to check cannabinoid compounds which bind to this cannabinoid receptor.
Yeah.
So we was wonderful tandem. I isolated, and he checked my isolates.
Yeah.
And
Against the
and
receptor.
when we saw a little bit that is active, that it binds, so I purified it more.
Okay.
If it increased, it was correct way. If it didn't increase, so we changed direction.
Okay.
And I was for 1 year. After 1 year, Professor Meshulam said, probably we have no chance. And we forced him to try with us another year. We said, we are sure that we are very close.
Okay.
So he said, at the end, he said, okay, so I shall try another 1 year. After half a year, I had in hand pure anandamide. Pure
anandamide.
Endogenous compound which binds to cannabinoid receptors. This later was named anandamide.
Yeah.
Ananda, because this William Devane studied Eastern philosophy, Sanskrit.
Okay.
So in Sanskrit, Ananda is bliss delight.
In Hebrew or no?
No.
In Sanskrit.
In Sanskrit.
Ah, okay. Sanskrit.
Bliss delight. And Professor Meshulam said because it's amide, ethanolamide, so that is also chemical part. So Ananda and amide, anandamide.
Yeah. Nice.
So this was name of this molecule. When later I found that it's in the brain in concentration, picomolar. It's usually like 10 picomolar concentrations.
Yeah.
It means that in gram of brain is about 3 nanograms.
Okay.
What is nothing.
Yeah.
Because when I isolated it, and Bill, Dr. William Delvey, I call him Bill.
Yeah.
Bill checked it. So he saw that it's very active. I evaporated it in tube, and this tube was clean. There was nothing.
Okay.
And when I dissolved this nothing, and we again tested it, it was very active. At the end, it was not enough, of course, for identification.
Yeah.
At the end, we have 0.5 milligram.
Okay.
What is a really huge amount.
Yeah.
That is a
Compared
really
to
huge
what's
amount,
in
but
the brain.
it was enough
Yeah.
for structure identification and for correct molecular mass, high resolution spectroscopy. So it was in 24th March when I isolated it. And in 1st December, it was published in Science already.
Okay.
Tomorrow I shall talk who participated and how everything was, because it's not the work of one person.
No.
Because one isolate, one check activity, one identify, one is doing this or that, one is tested pharmacology and so on.
So what kind of impact did you feel that it had on the world when it was published in December?
Why we name it anandamide? I said that Bill wanted, because he studies philosophy, ananda, but it's bliss delight.
Yeah.
First, it was like expected effect of this compound. And second, this was happiness of discoverers.
Yeah.
Because we were very happy that we finished this tedious work.
Of course.
And that we succeed with such small amount, identify it. So we were very happy. And of course, cannabinoid receptors, they influence the world, but it still was not enough. It was necessary to identify endocannabinoids, what is later we named this group endocannabinoids, like endogenous cannabinoids.
Endo meaning inside, cannabinoids.
Yes.
Yeah. The cannabinoids we have inside
Own
our body.
to the body.
Yeah.
So this was this happiness.
Yeah.
An expected effect.
Yeah.
Because we were really very happy. And very soon start a huge interest in cannabis.
Yeah.
Because what was principle? They found that cannabinoid receptors are almost in all parts in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And this was explanation why it works with so many diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Because it
binds
it
to
works
all,
almost with any disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exceptional
Mm-hmm.
plant, because usually plants are specific,
Yeah.
you know, and this is a very broad spectrum
Mm-hmm.
of disease. So, and
Actually,
started,
full spectrum.
yeah.
Or you could say that. Yeah.
So, and it started very popular and grew publications. You know, when I started with cannabis, so by letters I asked for reprints, and I had reprints from all scientists from the world which were working on cannabis.
Yeah.
Today I check it every week, and every week is on cannabis and endocannabinoids is between 100 and 300 new scientific papers.
Every week.
Every week.
Wow.
So I cannot read it.
No, it's too much.
I pass everything.
Yeah.
What is interesting according to the name.
Mm-hmm.
So I read abstract, and when it's very interesting, so I download it and I read it. It's impossible today read everything. And from when I started, I had all scientific publications from whole world, and I read everything. Today it's impossible. You must be specialized, you know, in certain direction.
When I started to read scientific papers on cannabis, I believe there were, I'm not sure, about 5,000. Now it's up to what? Do you know the number? How many publications there have been?
Web of Science, when you put cannabinoids and endocannabinoids, it's around 150,000.
150,000
scientific
published papers. Yeah.
Because I check Web of Science, this is the highest number.
Yeah.
And then I check PubMed, it's less. And
it's less there.
SciFinder also you find less.
Yeah. So the reason I'm asking is because when you are telling doctors and people in the health industry about cannabis, we often get the response that it's not researched enough. And now you're saying there are more than 150,000.
It's not research enough.
Yeah, it's never probably.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Why? Because many scientists, many physicians, they are afraid to work with cannabis.
Yeah.
Because of stigmatization.
Yeah. Many
physicians and scientists, they don't believe in positive effect of cannabis.
Yeah.
But if I look, like in Czechoslovakia, many folklore songs are on cannabis.
Yeah.
Cannabis was every time appreciated because it was wonderful plant which you use from the top to the root, you know.
Yeah.
So, and at one moment it became illegal.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I cultivated it. I had, like, for instance, 100 kilograms of marijuana at medical faculty.
Yeah.
It was not locked.
No?
I never lost one leaf.
Okay.
It was in Czechoslovakia something unusual to use cannabis.
Yeah.
Nobody was interested in cannabis. If I cultivate it on the same spot today, it cannot survive one night.
No.
You know.
You say, you know, it's controversial. It's still controversial in many countries. So, but when you began your work, it must have been super controversial. So, did you get responses, negative responses from other scientists because you were?
No.
No.
Look, when Professor Krejci discovered this cannabidiolic acid, already in December 1954, was scientific conference at medical faculty, Palacký University in Olomouc.
Yeah.
Name was Cannabis as Medicine. Just today on conference, Pavel Kubu showed one picture of children which were treated with tuberculosis.
Yes.
This is just from this conference.
This is from this conference in 1954.
From this conference, and
Okay.
it was published. These were papers on stomatology, gynecology, dermatology. Already at that time, they use it for many cases. In fact, in hospital, they use it predominantly for antibacterial effect. You know, decubits, for instance, we treat it perfect. Decubits, it can be up to the bone, you know. And decubits, it treated perfect. Patients which stay a long time in the bed.
Yeah.
And or virus, herpes, zoster.
For that, they use like lotions or creams.
Yeah. No, in fact, they use the tincture.
Oh, the tincture.
Yeah,
Okay.
just in ethanol.
Okay.
Everybody, when had virus herpes simplex, came to our department just for tincture.
Yeah. So they just put it right on the
they
herpes.
put it and it treats very good.
Okay. I have to
And
tell
it
my
was-
son about that.
And this, what I want to stress, that it was cannabis. Today they call cannabis and hemp.
Yeah.
Everything is hemp, of course.
Yeah.
This is cannabis sativine, what is
Yeah.
in English hemp.
Yeah.
But they like low THC and high THC.
That's like how they differentiate up.
Yeah.
These
Because
two plants.
cannabis, they think medicinal cannabis or
Yeah.
recreational cannabis.
Yeah.
What is also paradox to talk about medicinal and recreational, because today most strains of cannabis which is used in medicine, like medical cannabis,
Yeah.
most of these strains were developed for recreational use.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
It's the same plants.
So this is cannabis.
Yeah.
I don't say this is industrial cannabis and
No,
so on.
No.
Yeah.
I
And-
think that's more for political sake, so
Of
that
course.
people can try to differentiate between, industrial cannabis, which is then used for, industry, and then the one which is used for medicinal purposes. But for people who know the plant, it's not just all cannabis. It's all parts of the plant.
But still medicinal cannabis is very limited and it's not easy. If you have cancer and you are in terminal stage, they give you cannabis directly without any problem. But it's too late.
Yeah.
I don't know, cannabis, I stressed 4 no, in my lectures. That it doesn't treat every time, it doesn't treat everybody, it doesn't treat every disease, and it doesn't treat every stage of disease. There are people which said me, no, it's not true, but later they say, Lumír, you are right.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. Because I had lectures in 30 countries.
Yeah.
So I met many patients. Unfortunately, it's hard to meet unsuccessful patients. They are not interested anymore and don't want to come to such conference.
Yeah.
But I met patients which treated themselves cancer. They were free of cancer cells. But they found, again, it was like illegal treatment. I don't consider it illegal if it helps.
Yeah.
They found that when they treated themselves and they were healthy, if they stopped to use cannabis, to some cancer return. So they should, after that, use some lower amount just to keep them
Just to
healthy
keep it,
without cancer cells.
Yeah.
So it's not palliative, it's not curative, it's something like between
Yeah.
palliative,
But
curative.
it's a treatment option for people who have certain diseases. Then it's an option.
And now it's your genetic.
Yeah.
And to find correct strain, because strain which help to one person, it doesn't mean that the same strain can help to the other one.
Yeah.
Because if two persons have, for instance, cancer of lungs,
Yeah.
these are two different cancers. It's not the same cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe they need another strain.
Yeah.
So it was in Israel that they came to grower teach them how to use it, and gave them several strains.
Yeah.
And they tried strains, and then they came, this strain helps me. So then they treated themselves with certain strain.
Yeah.
Sometimes they were lucky, they find it immediately, and sometimes it was tedious way to find this correct strain.
And this is because every plant, every strain is different. It
Yes.
has different structure of cannabinoids in it.
Exactly. And now, if it's a certain strain and you have seeds, if you cultivate it in Iceland or in Europe or in America or in Africa,
Yeah, it's different.
it's different,
Yeah.
you know. Of course, this probably ratio of compounds can be the same, but not amounts.
Yeah.
So according to that, also treatment is not necessarily the same.
Yeah. So your discovery of anandamide helped us to better understand the endocannabinoid system. Could you explain the significance of this system in the human body for those who don't know the endocannabinoid system?
Who doesn't know endocannabinoid system? So in the body are cannabinoid receptors. You can imagine these receptors like lock. And in the body are produced compounds, endogenous, which we call today endocannabinoids. You can imagine that this is key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a lock and you have a
So
key.
you have lock and you have key. So when body is in homeostasis, it means in balance, you are healthy.
In perfect balance.
So it's not necessity for body to produce the endocannabinoids.
Yeah.
Because body produce endocannabinoids on demand when it's necessary. When it's disbalanced, so your body is not in correct homeostasis, so then body start to produce endocannabinoids.
Okay.
But not every body has enough cannabinoid receptors or enough endocannabinoids, so sometimes you must help with cannabinoids,
Okay.
which can work instead of endocannabinoids.
So that's why if I have phytocannabinoids, which is phyto meaning
today
coming
they
from
call
outside.
phytocannabinoids.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, today they call cannabinoids synthetic compounds, which has nothing with cannabinoids, but it binds to cannabinoid receptors.
Yeah, yeah.
So they did a little bit mix, you know. So
Yeah.
this must explain that are compounds. They call it synthetic cannabinoids, but it's not cannabinoids at all.
No.
Even it's not derivative of cannabinoids. This is quite different structures.
Yeah.
So it's better call phytocannabinoids
Yeah.
and endocannabinoids.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you have tinctures with cannabinoids or you smoke it or whatever, then you are helping the system balance itself.
It depends on you.
Okay.
It depends on disease because about, I can tell you, according to Israel, about 10% cannabis patients stop cannabis treatments because it doesn't help them or they don't feel good after use.
Okay.
So what I said that it's not for everybody
Yeah.
and every time.
But if you say 10%, then it's 90% continue.
90%.
Yeah. So that's
It's wonderful medicine.
yeah.
It's wonderful medicine.
Yeah.
Maybe mostly it's palliative, but even palliative it's wonderful,
Yeah.
you know, because it's palliative medicine without side effects.
Yeah.
Yes. We must understand one thing. If we talk about hashish, marijuana, in the past it was from cannabis which was grown in the nature, how nature grew it.
Yeah.
Today, when they develop new strains which are very strong. This is not like in the past. In the past, there was no danger for overdosing because there was low concentrations. I don't know, hashish was 5%. It was, and today you can have
25%.
Marijuana 33%. Mahmoud al-Sohli at Mississippi University, where I did postdoc, 1978, 79, long time ago. So he also had over 30%, and these are only flowers. Can you imagine that 1/3 of flowers it's THC? So these strains are really can be dangerous.
They can be dangerous.
Dangerous.
So why are people cultivating these strains with so high concentration of THC?
Business.
It's business.
It's business, of course.
Yeah.
It's a business. It can be good if you want to isolate THC and use it by different ways legally. But mostly it's business. You know, there are several problems. Like today we talk about CBD, Epidiolex. Why it's called Epidiolex? Because if it's called cannabis, it can be cheap. But if its name is Epidiolex, you can give a higher price. Because health of patients is not, according to my opinion, personal. Health of person is not on the first place. On the first place are money. Because I stress everywhere, we must prepare something what help to the patients and what will be very cheap to the patients.
Exactly.
In Israel, patients, official patient cannabis, they gave them cannabis for months, and they paid about 10% of low pension. It's good. Today, it's 10 times more expensive.
Wow.
So many patients, they don't have money for that, so they stop using cannabis, which help them. You know, it's everything business. And before, it was according to the strain, what is important. Today, they give them according to the concentration of CBD, THC, and CBN. So one time it can help because it's correct strain, and second time maybe it doesn't help because it's different strain. And patient doesn't know it. So it's not like concentrated on patient, that you have it and you have it cheap. And this is, you know, because I am scientist, I am not businessman. So I every time think about patient, that he can reach it very cheap.
Easily.
Easily.
So a plant for everyone, like it should be.
Yes.
So what role do you think that researchers and scientists should play in shaping the cannabis policy and legalization? Do you actively take part in trying to legalize cannabis? Are you getting it going somewhere you're a scientist, of course, but do policymakers reach out to you for advice about if they are going to legalize or not?
Look, for instance, in Israel, we had meetings in Knesset, it's parliament, Israeli, with one political part which wanted to help to cannabis. So we had meetings and talk what should be done. In Czech Republic, we had seminars on the grounds of parliament. Yes, there was...
Just to teach them.
So we were explaining everything. There were also from police which are fighting against drugs, you know. And one head of this anti-narcotic police part, he said something correctly, what I appreciated. He said, look, I cannot allow to anybody to say no problem, because I am paid to do correct work. So if it's illegal, so it doesn't matter who uses it, it's illegal. If it will be tomorrow legal, for me it's no problem.
Yeah.
But I must do my work good.
Yeah.
So he said correctly.
Yeah.
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 It's unpleasant, of course, for some people, but he was correct.
Yeah.
Because if he work bad, so he can be fired.
Yeah. Of course.
You know. But they came to these seminars twice. It was this seminar in Parliament. It looked very good in Czech Republic. But today, if you kill somebody, so you stay in jail less than if you treat yourself with cannabis.
It's
Many.
And this is still today like this.
This is today in Czech Republic, unfortunately.
Yeah. There was some talk about legalizing in the Czech Republic, right? Or has been for some years.
There are talks. They do everything. Today I talk also with my friends, with Pavel, Hanka. But we shall see what will be.
Yeah.
You know, because it's paradox. I remember when I prepared it for drugstore and it was used in hospital.
Yeah.
And today it's prohibited.
Yeah.
And we had no problems with that. And it was illegal.
Yeah.
They came from Prague. They saw what we have this amount. They said, oh, it should be locked in safe. We said, no problem, don't worry.
Yeah.
We never lost anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on TV, no problem. We treat it. It was in Olomouc. It was really special, maybe the only place around the world globe where they treated this cannabis. And today everything is forgotten. And Czech Republic was able to be a leader in medical cannabis.
Yeah.
And later, Israel was supposed to be leader. And they changed everything also.
Yeah.
We have about, in Israel, 150,000 patients, cannabis patients. But still are many patients which are waiting for cannabis and they don't have it.
Okay.
And then there are cultivators, which cultivated in Israel, but they prefer that it's easier for police to buy cannabis from in abroad. And this is ideal, you know, harvest it in Israel. It's climate ideal.
Yeah.
So
That's strange.
So my role in legalization and help to patients, that I travel around the world, I give lecture, I am not afraid, I tell them what is bad in this or that country, what I don't like, and what should be good for patients.
Yeah.
And
so
this I think also helps.
What would you say to the Icelandic parliament if they would ask you, should we legalize this plant or not?
Each country must decide if legalize or not. I could tell them, invite specialists for seminar. We give you seminar. Then you can see results from other countries, if it helped to somebody or not. And then you can decide. We are not going to force you because we are foreigners and you are independent country, so it must be your decision. We can give you only suggestion.
And facts.
And facts.
Yeah, scientific facts.
Scientific facts.
But according to the scientific facts, do you think that there's anything that is negative about legalizing or making the plant available to patients?
Look, in Czech Republic, patients thought it should be legalized, that we can cultivate it. According to my opinion, it's not a good idea to give to the patients possibility to cultivate it. I explain you why. Most patients, they are unable to cultivate it.
Yeah.
Second, these patients which can cultivate it and know how to do. So even if plant will not be in perfect shape, so they think, it's a pity through it, so they use everything. Then they don't know where they cultivate it. Maybe they cultivate it on the soil that are heavy metals. And then, when you want to clean soil from heavy metals, just plant cannabis.
Yeah, exactly.
It will be clean. So it will not be healthy for them. So it's better if it's cultivated and checked, and they must analyze it.
Yeah.
If these patients, when they cultivate it, they are not going to analyze it because analysis is expensive.
Yeah.
So they don't know what they use.
Yeah.
This is the problem. So it's better if it's cultivated and analyzed, and they know exactly. This I saw in California, where I was, where it's as for recreational users, as for patients. All sorts from cannabis.
Yeah.
If cookies and joints and chocolates, I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything, suppositories, creams. And they sell it. At the end of the week was sale. They sell everything that on Monday is fresh.
Yeah, okay. So
Everything,
it came in on
everything
Monday
fresh.
And on Friday there was sale.
So if this patient finds that this helps me, so he knows that next week he needn't buy for months. He buy just for a week and go next week and buy fresh material.
Yeah.
This was ideal, what I saw. So it's better.
Ideal. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I am against cultivation. I only explain why it's not a good idea to cultivate it yourself.
Yeah,
because
most people don't have the knowledge to do it, and not the proper equipment and ability.
I cultivated it for scientific research, and in my garden I put a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Let it grows. It was in comparison what I cultivated for science. It was big difference.
No, there was a big difference.
It was poor, small.
Yeah,
and this can happen also to the patients.
Yeah.
And then if they cultivate it at home, in different instruments and everything, boxes where you can cultivate it. It's also a lot of electricity and everything around, so it can be also expensive for them. So it's better if somebody cultivates it for them, and of course they must have profit from this cultivation. But let this profit is reasonable, and patient have it cheap. Maybe it can be by government subsidized for the patients.
That
and
sounds
then
like a good
they
idea.
can be sure that patient use something what is safe, that is not endangered, and that it will not be for hospitals some problem with patients.
Exactly. So, what advice would you give to young scientists or researchers who are interested in studying cannabis today?
First, outside the researchers, if somebody, when people are young, they like, I also, when I was young, to show that I am adult, so we smoke cigarettes, Almost every boy passed this period. Yes, I'm non-smoker, but when I was young, I tried it. Yes, first you try cigarettes, then you try alcohol. So it can be problem for children because up to age 21 is developing gray core of your brain. When is finished development, at age 25 you can be sure that it's finished. So you want to try it. For curiosity, I understand that people won't try it and then stop it. Yes. Try it after age 25. You are on the safe side. And for scientists, of course, first spread these knowledges and then study in directions what we think that it's the most profitable. Diseases where it works the best, cannabis. And then, of course, they can prepare derivatives of cannabis, but they must be very careful because some of them, like where John Hoffman prepared many derivatives of cannabinoids and then it was abused. From what John Hoffman, I talked with him and he was not happy.
Okay.
You know, that his compounds, they synthesize. Because in scientific paper you publish also synthesis, how you do it. You know, so that they are very careful before publications, that they can check it also pharmacologically. Because many people or are curious to try it so they can synthesize it, or they won't sell it. So check it also pharmacologically, that you published something what cannot endanger others.
Exactly.
Be on the safe side.
Is there anything you want to say to
We
the
talk,
people?
I tell something, another what is very important. We talk today about that.
Yeah.
There was discussion about cannabidiol, about synthetic cannabidiol, and about natural cannabidiol from the plant.
Yeah.
What is difference? That it doesn't work the same.
Yeah.
So I would like to explain one thing. If you have synthetic cannabidiol and is 100% pure, and if you have natural cannabidiol and is 100% pure, there is no difference. It's exactly the same.
The structure
exactly.
is the same.
Everything and effects, everything is the same. But when you synthesize, so there are some byproducts which are different from natural products. And if you isolate, there are side products because you never can synthesize or isolate 100% pure. Every time it's maximum 99.9, but usually it's 99.7.
Okay.
And so on. And this small percentage can influence it very much.
Yeah.
This found even patients which are like illegal patients, that they don't have it, but they use it.
Yeah.
What I consider legal. So they found that if they isolated cannabidiol and they were unable to purify it, so it worked better than pure cannabidiol because there are another compounds, natural, and this works synergically. Today they like word entourage effect.
Yeah.
Maybe it's entourage, but it's synergy. Because entourage, this explained Professor Meshulam in publication with Shimon Ben Shabbat. When you have active compound and at inactive compound, it's more active. This is entourage.
Yeah.
But in cannabis, these are active and active compounds. This probably will be mostly synergy. But there can be also, and today they use only entourage.
Yeah.
So this I wanted to stress. And at the end, message.
Yeah.
I wish to everybody to be healthy, that we needn't use cannabis, that we can only talk about that, because there's no reason to use it.
That's a nice way to wrap it up. Thank you very much, and
You're
it was
welcome.
a pleasure to talk to you.
You're welcome, and I wish that in Ireland it will be according to help to all patients which are in a need and which are suitable for treatment with cannabis.
Yeah. I hope so too. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I'm looking forward to your presentation tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay.